Hello everyone, welcome to my portfolio. Myself Aravind Vankadaru, currently pursuing my second semester of Master's Program in Construction Engineering and Management. As part of the second semester studio, construction project execution, monitoring and control, we have chosen a mixed development project for this study. In this portfolio, we will be going through project brief, pre-construction activities, 3D site layout and analysis, contract administration, safety management, material management, and various conclusions. Our project is a mixed development project which includes the commercial as well as the residential apartment, and which is comprising around 2 acres with a build-up area of 61,000 square meters. Our project is easily accessible to the major infrastructure in the city. This project has majorly 6 blocks, and AB and EF blocks comprises of the commercial part up to the second floor. Pre-construction phase encompasses all the activities in the construction project that occur prior to the construction. To rephrase this concept, the planning for the activities that occur during the construction are pre-planned during the pre-construction phase. As part of this project, the major activities involved are conducting the pre-construction meetings, reviewing the contract documents, approvals, mobilization, procurement of materials and equipment, and preparing guidelines for QA, QC and safety guidelines. During the pre-construction meeting, majorly discussed about the site surroundings and various aspects related to the construction. And one more important discussion which has taken place is about the mobilization and of the contractor, and the required mobilization activities are also has been discussed. Later, the approvals are obtained by the client for this project, and some of the important approvals are also shown below. At the last, the safety and controls are set in a line to create set of benchmarks that were prepared before the start of work by the client and the contractor collectively sitting together. This mixed development project has two major entrances. One is facing towards IIM Ahmedabad and second is facing towards the University Road. On the entrance one, all the administrative offices such as client, contractor and conference room are present. In front of these offices, the stacking of reinforcement is also happening, which comes under the hazard. Behind the AB block, bar bending 1 is located. Behind the CD block, labor colony, toilets, QC lab and safety offices are situated. Near the EF block, bar bending 2 and bar bending 3 places are situated, and we can see in the 3D model, and these are the various aspects which we can identify. And later the center of this block, we can see and scrap and scaffolding being present, and currently they are stacking these things. And coming to the right side, we can see the various renders of various blocks, and later using the Revit we were able to extract the quantities of the floor area in meter cube till date construction happening on this site. Path of travel analysis is done in order to reduce the unnecessary time of the stakeholders that take place for the movement of one end to the other end of the major offices. On the left hand side, the existing facilities of site layout is shown. On to the right hand side, the various facilities for the modified site layout is being shown. We were able to save around on an average 37.75 seconds by changing the layout of the site. Contract administration. Now we will be discussing about some of the aspects of the contract that were used during the construction phase. Under this study, we have undergone in understanding the general and special conditions of the contract. Later, these clauses were compared with the standard guidelines such as FIDIC. Later, we have made a detailed analysis and flowcharts on claims and dispute management. In the last, the discussion for the time delay analysis is also done. The contract document of the client is bifurcated in two sections, Schedule 1 and Schedule 2. Under the Schedule 1, the basic information is given, and under the Schedule 2, all the details of the activities to be done such as BOQ drawings of the tenders are also mentioned. In order to compare these clauses, how these are interlinked with the actual practices and applications on the site, the applications of clauses were also shown here in this table. On to the right hand side, the process of claim management is shown. On to the left hand side, the claims at project have been shown. These claims are bifurcated in majorly 4 different sections, and each section comprises of different claims, and there are totally 16 different types of claims we have identified during the project. In discussion with the project manager, we identified 3 important claims. First is extension of time, rework of 6 columns, change of scope, that is additional work which is of pile foundation near the RAM 3, which is also not mentioned in the scope of work, so it comes under the claim by the client, by the contractor to the client. Now we will be discussing about safety management. The study of safety management is done at the mixed development project. During this study, we have undergone through the client safety policy, contractor safety policy, risk analysis of various hazardous activities, comparison of safety guidelines as per the standard guidelines such as OSHA, permits and approvals for the activities has been discussed. Evacuation plan is also prepared for the emergency situation. Later, the COVID-19 guidelines were also discussed during this study. The organization structure for the safety department is based on the two sections. One is related to the administrative reporting and other is related to the functional reporting in the head office. The head office has HOD and senior safety officer of EHS. And on site, EHS department consists of various safety officers such as assistant safety officer, senior safety supervisor, and safety stewards. In order to keep in control of various safety aspects on site, a committee is being formed to held the monthly and weekly meetings. Under this, the chairperson is the project manager, the secretary is the senior safety officer, and all the major stakeholders are part of this committee. The major activities of this committee is to conduct and participate monthly and weekly safety meetings, identify various hazardous activities on site and near misses also, and monitor the workman of the activities and being and should be always be active participation regarding the safety aspects on site. Now we will be discussing about risk assessment. Risk assessment is done in order to identify the risks and hazards. There are 6 major steps involved in the risk assessment: preparation to the implementation and review of the risks. In order to check whether the current safety plan is working on site, Usha has recommended leading and lagging indicators which are denoted with the SMART. And there are 4 different indicators such as management leadership, HIRA, worker participation, education, and training are some of the indicators which are recommended by the USHA. Later, these guidelines of work given by the contractor are compared with the guidelines of the USHA, and these are some of the guidelines which we have compared. Now we will be discussing about the material management. In material management, lead time is one of the important concept which has to be studied. So in order to study, the lead time has consisting of 5 different steps, from material ordering to the inspection onto the site when the unloading of materials is happening. So for materials such as steel, AAC block, sand, admixture, cement, and concrete, we have done the lead time analysis, and out of these materials we have seen that AAC block has the maximum days of lead time. Later, the forecasting of materials for the concrete and reinforcement is also being done, and reinforcement forecast is being shown here. And from the table and the graph, we can see that the February is an actual, and we have forecasted up to the July. And out of these graph, May has the maximum requirement of reinforcement, and March has the minimum requirement of reinforcement on site. Under this material management, we have studied the store management. In order to study the store management, currently we have studied the actual store layout, and later we have proposed our store layout. Currently, the actual store layout is unorganized, as we can see in the images, and it's a very small size and located behind the F block. Currently the ground floor F block is free, and there we can arrange the store over there. So we have proposed to the contractor also, so he is gonna implement this under the site. And the store size which we have proposed is 4.5 meters to 3.6 meters, and this store is being classified based upon the various materials and organized based upon FIFO, that is first in first out. And later we also proposed and discussed about the codification of the materials and to use ERP systems. Construction project execution monitoring and control studio has provided as an hands-on experience of the various aspects of the construction project, such as safety, quality, budget, progress monitoring, materials, and cost management. The regular site visits and expert lectures and software sections and interactive discussion with the on-site stakeholders helped us to provide an understanding of the concepts, practices, and suggestive improvements in the field of construction management. As part of these discussions, pre-construction activities, site layout analysis, contract administration, safety management, and material management conclusions are also being mentioned. Pre-construction activities, the important takeaway is about the various pre-construction activities which have been discussed. In site layout analysis, POT and material quantity extraction are important aspects. In contract administration, the structure of contract and the comparison of various guidelines with the standards such as FIDIC are important aspects. In safety, the current practices have been studied and later these practices have been compared with the standard guidelines such as UPSA. So these were some of the important aspects of safety management. Later, material management, we have been forecasting for the upcoming 6 months. Later, this study of store also helped us to understand how the stores are to be organized for the much productive usage. Thank you.